What up, y'all? So today's topic is gonna be quick overview. Why do you deceive yourself? Now, just me saying that, because I had this topic with somebody yesterday too. Right, we was going over this information, and they seem to think they don't deceive themselves. Self deception is real. Here's an example of self deception, because you deceive yourself every day. Like I've been saying, a paradigm is a multitude of habits that is fixed in your subconscious mind. So you have bubbles. In order to be a part of a paradigm, you have to exclude everything that will say that that paradigm is wrong. So basically, let's just say, for argumental sake, that, and I don't want to be too touchy on people's feelings, but I mean, this is learning. We're learning here. We ain't trying to bash nobody. Let's just say you think you were born gay. Let's say that's your paradigm. You think you were born gay. So you're in a bubble, and inside this bubble, the root of this bubble is that argument that I think I'm born gay, and everything outside of that bubbles, or inside of the bubble that fills the bubble up, are the reasons why you think that way, the emotions, everything, just everything you can think of to keep you in the bubble is inside the bubble. Outside of the bubble is everything saying that that's false, which we all should know by now. And hopefully, you're not one of them people. No one was born nothing. A baby was born renderless, meaning it doesn't know anything but crying and mommy. It don't know nothing else. If I take a baby away from his mother and put it out in the wild like an animal, it'll die. So the baby doesn't know anything. No baby comes out of the mother womb talking about they want to lick or do anything sexually. They don't know what sexual is. Matter of fact, they haven't even developed English or any type of language or any type of system in their head because they don't have a conscious mind. Their subconscious mind is wide open, and the first 12 years of the child's life is, or anybody, the first 8 to 12 years of a child's life is how they develop their conscious mind. With that being said, really right there should just let you know that nobody was born nothing. Everything was developed. Everything is a habit. Every little thing was a habit developed in the brain. So, anyways, just for the sake of the argument, we're still on a person in a bubble or a paradigm saying that they were born gay. Just after that information I gave you, do you see why how the brain will deceive you into thinking everything that that bubble represents? The bubble representing the paradigm. Everything in that bubble is keeping you in that bubble. When people try to take you out that bubble, you have essence inside of the bubble to pull you back in. And it ain't easy. It's not easy stuff. It's hard stuff. It's emotional stuff that'll keep you in that bubble. Now let's get off of the topic of being born gay. Let's go to another paradigm. Let's say you feel like you can never succeed in life because for some strange reason, there are people that are out there that feel like they where they're at right now is the highest or the lowest that they'll ever get. They can't get no higher, they won't get no lower. Like I said, representing their paradigm is the bubble. Inside of the bubble are the triggers and the behaviors and everything that the brain can come up with to keep you with that story, because those are stories. Outside of the stories is the truth. What your brain does when it creates a bubble, when it creates a habit, when it creates a paradigm or a paradigm lock, it self deceives itself into thinking nothing but what is inside of the bubble. Another example would be if you are into a relationship right now. And I was a part of it. We all are. So you can't get mad at me. You can't get mad at nobody but yourself. If you were in a relationship too long and you knew that that relationship was no good from the beginning, well, or the middle, you knew that that relationship was no good, but you stayed anyway. What made you stay? Have you ever asked yourself what made you stay in a relationship that you knew was no good? I'll tell you what made me stay in the relationships that I knew that were no good. I felt like the person will eventually develop and be better. I felt that, me giving up on the person is bad on me. I've had a whole bunch of little stories that were inside of a bubble. I was playing a role that I had to realize was a part of a paradigm bubble. I want to play I don't want to give up on you, or one day I'll help you succeed role. That was a bubble that had to be popped. If a person doesn't want to see past their potential, adios, out of my life. But I was in that bubble. I didn't look outside of the bubble. I self-deceived myself into think of any idea outside of the bubble of they're gonna get it together one day, and I don't want to give up on them. That's how a paradigm works. A paradigm works because your brain is basically saying that, well, he really, you keep doing a whole bunch of habits that are close to a specific area. So what your central nervous system does is, okay, well, he doesn't need his logic when it comes to this topic. He doesn't need his memory when it comes to this topic. He doesn't need this. He doesn't need that. So what it does, it puts up an invisible realm and deceives any idea of you deviating from that paradigm. Our brain is so powerful that it can trick itself. How do you know that you're in a paradigm right now? Well, the easiest way to do is to think about the complete opposite of the idea that you're into right now. If you get uncomfortable talking about the complete opposite of the idea or the habits that you have, for the most part, you're probably in a paradigm. And just because your brain got uncomfortable does not mean that it's right. That is something that I hear a lot of people say, well, my spirit didn't fit. Man, none of y'all intuitive. Your spirit, none of y'all intuitive. Y'all heart chakra ain't even open. And you over here talking about you intuitive. No, your paradigm controls your logic. Your paradigm controls your perception. Your paradigm controls your memory. Your paradigm controls your habits. Your paradigm controls your so-called thinking. Because you're really not thinking, it's just mental activity. That ain't even thinking. Thinking is creating something that's outside of the realm of your knowledge. So, like for an example, if your behavior is only exerting a 30K a year behavior, thinking will make you get into a 40 or 50K a year behavior that cause you to go out there and get the money. That's what thinking is. It's a creative state. None of y'all really creative because school took your creation away. You were sitting there in school writing with a drawing on a pencil, not paying attention to the teacher, and you got in trouble for being creative. So it took your creative ability away. School took it away. Sitting in a classroom for 8 hours being miseducated. I can only tell you what I know. So, anyways, so back to what we were talking about. Your brain is intricate. For something to be powerful, that power, your thoughts have power. Your brain is this powerful electrical circuit thing. For it to have that much power, it only makes sense that it has to self-deceive itself in order to move forward. Some of you guys think lying is wrong. In a sense, lying can be wrong, but sometimes you have to self-deceive yourself to get in certain places in life. For an example, if you're going through manifestation, law of auto-suggestion, you're self-deceiving yourself into another pattern. You're lying to yourself saying, I am so happy and grateful now that I'm a millionaire. So self-deception comes in a good and bad way. And this is a disclaimer for me. Just based off of when you take the emotions away from things, there's really not a such thing as good and bad in a sense. Now, don't quote me on that. But most of the stuff that you think is bad ain't real. I mean, it's bad, but it's complicated. It's complicated. The world is complicated. For an example, you might think you a saint. You might think you an angel, but you self-deceive yourself into thinking that you an angel. You done some crazy shit in your life, but your brain closed it out. Like you got a person could come and drive past you and cut you off at a stop signal. You'll get mad, but you could do it to another person. So you got double standards. But you see how your brain tricked and self-deceived you? All of us have double standards. All of us are double standard people. So which brings me to this next point. Satan or the demon that you've been taught in this paradigm called Christianity. Let's pop the bubble real quick. You're your biggest devil. Yeah. You're your biggest devil because you self-deceive yourself into the situations you're in right now. If you're not living the right life, let's say you're right now, a lot of you guys are in bad situations. And for the most part, you're probably blaming all this outside world shit. You're blaming the outside world, the government, Donald Trump, this, that, and the third. But you never looked inside. You never looked in the mirror. You don't even know what mirror gazing is. Something inside of you 5 years ago manifested, made your life the way it is today. It's you that's self-deceiving yourself every day, thinking that the world is against you. It's you that's against yourself. Even if your parents weren't good role models, when you turned 18, you know better. You didn't have to keep those habits. You didn't have to keep none of them triggers. You could have self-improved at 18, and by the time you turned 30, you could have been straight. So you got to put a lot of the heavy load on yourself. You've been the biggest devil in your life because you've been self-deceiving yourself, thinking that everybody else is working against you besides yourself. How many of y'all know y'all supposed to went back to school and got a good, better education, or you supposed to go and call the job, or you were supposed to do something important, but your mind told you to do something completely different? Do you know that you're supposed to be in control of your mind? But when your mind control you, that means you're letting the paradigm control you. You have no self-control. None of y'all have self-control. I say that because I've been developing self-control, and it was very hard to control me. Like I've been saying on videos, your thoughts are not your thoughts. Some of your thoughts are your mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, your environment. They are your environment thoughts. It's even to the point where, let's say you grew up in a bad neighborhood. The paradigms of that neighborhood will be on you. Or you grew up in a good neighborhood. The paradigms of the good neighborhood. So now it's to the point where the neighborhood can program you. Do you see how your brain is? If you don't take control over your thoughts and your mind, you'll be on autopilot, and you'll allow everybody to control you. When somebody comes up to you and says some words in a tonality like this, and you get angry, you can't get mad at them. That's a weakness in you. You weak. You allowed them to make you angry. You can easily do what you see on the movies with them older white men that just be sitting there smiling while the guy yelling and stuff, and they just sitting there smiling like. Because you remember this. If my body is full of orange juice and you going to try to squeeze apple juice out of me, you ain't gonna get nothing. So with that being said, is if I'm squeezing anger, if I'm pressing the anger button in you and anger come out, that means you have anger in you, not in me. Here we are on this earth, and it's relatively short that we on this earth, and you self-deceived yourself to thinking that all the outside stuff on this world is against you instead of looking in the mirror. I remember, bro. I forgot who said it. It was an older gentleman. He said, "Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future." That's real because that's self-deception. You're deceiving yourself. You're around a whole bunch of bums, and you self-deceived yourself to fit in, and you became a bum. Now y'all got children. Now be honest with me. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna wrap this up. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with me. Be honest with yourself. Do you want your children to be anything like your parents? Be honest. Do you want your children to grow up and be like your parents? Be honest with me some more. Do you want your children to grow up and be like you? Do you want your children to grow up and have friends like you? Be honest. You say you want the best for your kids. Let's break that down. How you want the best for your kids, but you live in a 9 to 5 life, which is mediocrity. That's a 5 out of 10. You live in a 5 out of 10 life and probably less than that, but you self-deceived yourself thinking you live in a 10 out of 10. You live in a 5 out of 10 world. You're doing everything everybody else is doing because you on autopilot and you ain't thinking. But you say you want the best for your children, but you live in your worst life thinking you live in your best life. You ain't meditating. You don't know who you are. You ain't going inside and working on yourself, but you want the best for your children. That's something to think about. That's a hard pill to swallow. You ain't the best. You ain't even trying to be the best. Matter of fact, you gotten to a point where you think that being stagnant or being just doing what you're doing is your reality. You can't do no better. Your children see that. They see that mommy ain't taking care of herself, but she taking care of me. You know, a lot of women do that. I take care of my kids first. Girl, if you don't take care of yourself and you die, that means your philosophy of taking care of your kids first failed on you. If your kids see you looking all bummy and and you fixing up on them, and still, and it ain't 100% because you can't do so much because you had no resources. They're gonna grow up and be wondering why the hell mom didn't work on herself. I hear people say it all the time. Man, my mom made sure we was good to a certain extent, but she lost it. We had to grow up and take care of her. You gotta start looking at your present moments and seeing what you doing, what you think expands. If you taking care of your kids and you looking like a bum and you get into a bum vibration and stay in that bum vibration, now your kids gotta take care of you. Now they looking like mom is so dependent on us now. We gotta take care of her. You cause more problems. Let me give you a secret and I'm gone. Especially black women. Stop saying that you put the kids first when you got a man. Stop that. Stop. 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 You put the whole family first. We a family. You put us first. Put everybody first. Man, kids, everybody first. Don't let a man think that the kids are just all you about is the kids because you setting yourself up to be single. It's a setup to be single. You hear other women say that because you self-deceived yourself in thinking that what they saying was right. Y'all not leaders, y'all followers. I'm tired of that following stuff. You put the whole family first. Do not say you put the kids first. Look at your man and say you put the kids first. The man put the whole family first, especially if he's a working man, taking care of the bills and everything. He puts the whole family first, and you over here at home talking about you put the whole kids first. You neglecting your man. You ain't giving him nothing that he want, and then you wonder why he leave. Yeah, man, y'all act like y'all could do no wrong. Stop. And that goes for men too. Y'all not handling y'all business either. Everybody handle their business so we can get past this relationship issue, especially the black community. Y'all act like this shit is rocket science. It's not. And that's why you got people like me doing videos and doing what I do. Lay my life down for this, man. Because we gotta change. And like I said, my videos ain't just for black people. I'm sorry. I don't do the whole just black people thing. This is for everybody. This was for black, white, Chinese, whatever. We all on this earth together. Whoever can learn from me, whoever want to call me and reach out for me to me for advice or anything, I'm all ears. I'm all energy in. So with that being said, I hope y'all have a good day, and I'll catch up with y'all on the next video. Peace.